Hello, bird nerds. Looks like I'm a little bit loud on the music. Let's get that down. How are you? Australia Day. Australia Day holiday in lieu. Um, I'm very, very, very conflicted about this, so that's why I wanted to stream today. But mostly, I just wanted to test if this new platform works and to just run through. There we go. Got rid of the music. I've got to work out how to put all of the music into the various slides and see whether these things work. So just I'm just going to play around for a little while, and then I'm going to go and check the recording and see if the audio has made it into the recording and if the transitions, well, they look like they're happening, but they're not doing what I want them to do. There we are. There's supposed to be a stinger in between those. How good's that? Hello, who have we got? Who have we got? Hello, YouTube. I'm Grant. I'm a bird nerd, by the way. Um, and what I want to talk about is Australia Day and colonial history. And oh my God, every year I feel worse about Australia Day. Uh, but not not so bad that I need to be out in the streets protesting hard. I feel very remorseful um, in a way that really defies logic because I personally have nothing to feel remorseful about, but I do feel bad about how the country is still approaching the idea of Australia Day and how we seem to be unable to draw together that there are worthwhile things that a society has grown into here, but recognizing the ordinary, the very ordinary things that occurred um, in the settlement of this country by European colonists, imperial invaders. I don't think there's any other way we can really um, honestly talk about Australia Day. I don't know if I want to change the date because I don't know what an appropriate date would be. Conversation often heads towards Anzac Day. Well, I think Anzac Day would be a folly. Um, Once upon a time, I agreed that Anzac Day might be a good day to celebrate the becoming of a nation. But Anzac Day is born in imperial servitude, sending Australian young men to be cannon fodder to defend an imperial empire, uh, an empire that was already in serious decline, and that up to that point, there had never been any self reflection about what the empire meant. Admittedly, it was a time when human rights were not widely discussed or even believed to be um, something that all people deserved. That's probably the right word, but that were even inherently born with. But it's very difficult to, uh, I think, to be unequivocal about feelings on a day which celebrates nationalism, which encourages a sense of patriotism, but which still largely confronts and openly discusses the dispossession and, in some cases, the genocidal acts that went alongside that dispossession of Indigenous people. And I wasn't going to talk about this today until I saw some garbage on Twitter today with people who, when you examine their timeline, they seem like the kind of people that you might meet in many social situations or work situations, going to a conference or, that friend of a friend at a neighborhood barbecue or at a extended family barbecue, but who still take the view that Aboriginal culture is not worthy because they didn't dominate the continent. They didn't tame the continent. I'm not sure they sought to. I'm not sure they needed to. I think I think they were doing fine. And the idea that, oh, they had conflicts, they had war. Well, yeah, every civilization, every society has that. Every society has conflicts over property, conflicts over personal transgressions. I don't know what the point these people try to make. And it's very depressing when I see year after year people who can be so forthright in their opinions without being able to take into regard a nuanced view of history, certainly science, sociology. Um, so, so really, my whole point in just popping on today is to, one, see if people are still following the bird emergency after such a long um, time away. And the only reason the time away is that I'm having extraordinary hardware problems because I am back using an old computer, and the software and the platforms that I have streamed on over time have now got to the stage where this old computer really can't um, deal with it. So I'm trying out this new platform today. It looks like it's working okay. If you're in the comments and you're a regular, let me know you're here, because I do have on this particular screen that we're looking at. If you put a comment in, it should show up on the screen, and I would like to test that out. And I don't want to test it out by me typing stuff in. So, hello on Facebook. Let me know where you're from, and do you have an opinion on Australia Day, the holiday, um, how it should be marked? How did you spend Australia Day? Um, don't be shy. Pop into the comments and let's see what we've got. I do have one comment there, and it's a bot generated comment. So it would be nice to get a comment from a real person. And I'd love to know if any of the Bird Emergency Regular Riot Squad are still sticking around, even though today is a public holiday. Um, so I imagine people are doing things more worthwhile than just sitting in front of a computer in a hot room, especially when it's going to be 42, 41 or something here. Uh, I would like uh, I would like to know how you've been spending your time. Because this is the bird emergency, and I usually talk about bird conservation, biodiversity, and matters like that, and of course, habitat gardening. Have you been bird watching? Have you been doing anything birdie? Oh, maybe people are just getting notifications now. Nice to see you on Facebook. Let me know what's what. I would love to know where you are and what you have been doing. Are you enjoying a holiday? Are you um, are you in a situation where the weather is actually a bit deadly? Um, on that point, I mean, I've been so annoyed with what I've been seeing. The response to the wildfires in America. Um, of course, we've got fires that have been occurring in Western Australia, and they don't seem to get a mention in the media on this side of the country. Um, uh, again, going back to the theme of Australia Day, it's very hard to be jingoistic and celebrate when you can see governments that I saw the government found over $6 million uh, on Holocaust commemoration and memorials or something, but they can't find money to preserve our natural species. They can't find money for anything that I deem a priority, but they can always find something that will. Hello, Twitch. Nice to see someone from Twitch. Um, uh, Twitch people, let us know which country you are watching from. Are you invested in this whole idea of Australia Day, or are you sitting somewhere else in the world going, "What's Australia Day?" Should I tell you what Australia Day is? Pop in the comments and let me know. Um, the the idea of changing the date for Australia Day is a really difficult question. One uh, one thing is, if we've got a whole lot of other days that we celebrate particular things, um, the Australian nation came into being in on January the 1st. Um, Australia Day is the day that the proclamation setting up the colony of New South Wales was read out on the beach by Arthur Phillip, uh, Governor Arthur Phillip. I think he only became the governor once he set foot on the land too. I think before that he just had his naval rank. Uh, now that's a day. Anzac Day is often thrown up as an alternative for Australia Day, but Anzac Day is a commemoration of a military defeat by Australian troops who were at that point imperial troops. Um, I'm not sure that it is an appropriate day to celebrate the and do we celebrate the birth of a nation or the founding of a colony? Because Australia Day, as it currently is the founding of a colony. So what would a an appropriate date be? I think we stick to this date because of the long weekend that has developed because of it. It's the end of the summer holidays. Schools go back next week. I think there is a a desire to keep a day of significance on this weekend that can justify a public holiday and that marks a point in time where, okay, the fun is over and we need to get back to, we have to get back to the grindstone. You get back to school, you get back to work. If you're one of those people that is lucky enough to still be able to take, significant amounts of time of paid leave over this Christmas and January period, which of course is rapidly diminishing. But what do you think? Um, is Australia Day something that is worth hanging on to? Um, I mean, I loved summer as a kid, but I grew up on the beach. I grew up in a suburb on the beach, and we had, a lifestyle which most Australians don't enjoy. I was sailing, I was swimming, I was playing cricket. Um, it was semi-rural, so the opportunity to do camping and bushwalking and the things I like bird watching and things that I no longer like, and I can't believe I found great joy in spearfishing. I've always enjoyed diving. I love sailing, but I used to love spearfishing, and um, but that's not most people. Most people don't have that existence in Australia. Most people live an urban and suburban life. And I slightly off track, but if we are celebrating the birth of a nation, why are we not doing it on January 1, which is when the Commonwealth of Australia came into being? And if we're celebrating the birth of a colony, the foundation of a colony, then January 26 seems to be the right date. But we need to discuss that that is a colony. It's not the birth of a nation. And if we want to if we don't want January 1 because we've already got a public holiday on January 1, this is, I think, the crux of the matter in the Australian psyche. We want this holiday on this particular part of the year. How do we craft it? Um, do we just have a holiday that's like the end of summer, the get back to work holiday? Um, I mean, pagans had all kinds of festivals on the times of year that were either marking, socially significant times like harvest, or whether they were in line with lunar cycles, or um, maybe tidal lunar, lunar events. Can't we just be honest and say we just want a holiday, and we'll have the Australian Open if Saudi Arabia doesn't pinch it, or some cricket match or something, and we'll just call it National Barbecue Day or something equally lame. And we can have a holiday, and then we can really think about what a true national day would be. Most countries, most nations pick a day which is like the formation of a nation, or the liberation of a nation, or um, I'm not. I mean, are there other countries that celebrate the imperial supplication, the colonial supplication of the indigenous people in the same way that we do. I think most countries, I mean, India, Canada, um, that have similar histories to ours in a colonial sense, they're not they're not celebrating the day somebody stuck a flag on a particular part of the territory. They celebrate or they mark the day where the nation came into being. And again, that comes back to, for Australia, it's January 1. And I'm really concerned by the way people misrepresent what January 26 is when they say it's beginning of the beginning of the nation of Australia. No, it's not. It's just simply not. I don't know how there's any way you can extrapolate that Australia started on January 26th. If you want to draw a really long bow, that it's kind of when the whole idea kind of started. No, it was never meant to be an independent nation at that time. And if you're going to draw that long bow, wouldn't you be talking about the time that Cook first set foot on Australia, on this continent? Wouldn't that be in line with the thinking that the founding of a colony that is not Australia would be an appropriate day? Certainly less significant in terms of dispossession, even though the logical outcome of that discovery and the report, and discovery is a dodgy word too, um, and the knowledge of the uh, conditions of the geography, um, the biology of this continent, of that being fed back to the colonial masters in London, uh, would seem to be more in line with the beginning of the birth of Australia. I don't know. And as I mentioned, I don't. I think I took it out of the description. I'm really torn on this issue because as I get older, and I should have put my cap on, shouldn't I? Because that covers up how bloody old and grumpy I can be. As I get older, I get less and less attached to, is a national kind of day even important? But then I remember back to the jingoism and the pride that I felt as a kid. But most of that was really reflected in sporting sort of outcomes. That's why I don't really think it's a significant day when what we do is sports stuff. We do sports stuff, and tied up around that, we get pissed. Well, I don't anymore, but I used to. Used to always love it. Australia Day the weekend was a really good opportunity to go camping, go away somewhere, get pissed, play up. I'm not sure that's what a national day is really supposed to be. Um, anyway, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm talking a load of shit. Um, also, tell me for sure that you can hear me, uh, and and tell me something, Birdie. I really didn't want to get too tied up in this. today, but it has really been annoying me. The kind of jingoistic rubbish and the historical myths that get peddled around Australia Day. And I didn't stream yesterday because I thought, well, uh, maybe I should just let it lie. But the coverage that I've been seeing and the comments that I see on social media just make me wonder, uh, how stupid are people? They obviously don't know the history and they don't understand the ramifications of our own history, but they're so sure about what they are saying. Um, and of course, we had some. I had to laugh at the pro Australia Day march that we had in Melbourne, where everyone was kitted out in the same Australian flag hats and shorts and t-shirts. So obviously, somebody with significant money has kitted everyone out in advance. It's not so it's just an astroturf kind of thing. They're not genuine social movements. They're not genuine popular movements. I was pleased to see that the Invasion Day protest was apparently the uh, largest attendance since that particular protest has begun. I'd forgotten that we used to have an Australia Day parade in Melbourne, and that people are protesting about about Australia Day. Um, let me have a look. We got some comments. Let's see if we're getting friends or foes in here today. Um, oh, Naomi, let's show this. How are you, Naomi? Good to see you. Um, Got to say, Naomi, I really enjoyed. I was an appreciator of your little wattlebird um, post that I saw. I'm not sure if I saw it on Instagram or on Facebook, but you're you're becoming quite good, aren't you? So yes, Naomi says, "Lol." A lot of people would hate to lose the holiday. Jan 1 is already a holiday. That's right. It would be called a woker thing to do, and I have very little faith in Australians. I can hear you. Well, I'm glad you can hear me. I'm sure you can hear me, but you can also relate to what I'm saying. Yeah, I think this is the problem with the day. Everybody wants the holiday. School children are heading back to school next week, I believe. I think Tuesday or Wednesday. Um, that holiday feeling disappears. And I think people just want to hang on to a long weekend at this time of the year. So how can we jam it into something which is not um, mis misapplied, poorly applied, like we have now? Um, oh, Naomi, good rocking in with the comments. I'm glad you're here, Naomi. It's been so long since I've been able to get a stream actually working. So I've got a new platform that seems to work okay. You can tell me whether we've got lag or anything like that going on in the stream. Certainly lagging when I'm looking at what's happening, but um, but if we're not getting frames dropped and lag and terrible audio, like I did last time I tried to do a stream, I'll be happy. And Naomi says, bird news: 6 brown cuckoo doves, very good. 2 Lewins honey eaters, 4 satin bowerbirds, 1 eastern spinebill, 4 variegated fairy wrens, 1 golden whistler, all at one time, all in the bleeding heart tree. Well, that is pretty good. Um, Obviously you're doing something right there, Naomi, because your number of species is increasing. Um, I gotta say, I'm getting depressed about the bird watching around here. Uh, less and less, seeing less and less variety around here. Um, at least I've got my plants growing. I've got my seedlings growing. I'll be out. Um, Probably wait until the end of next week before I go out and start collecting some cuttings to broaden the suite of plants that I am growing for my little driveway project, and also to send out to potential members. I'm really thinking about what to be doing in terms of time allocations. Oh, great! Good to see. I've got lots of YouTubers. Hello, YouTube. Um, um, yeah, I'm putting out. Oh, Naomi's in with another one. I'm trying to schedule a lot now that I know that this works. Of course, I would like the feedback about the frames dropping or anything. What's Naomi telling me? Uh, Audio is heaps better. I like the background stars. Yeah, I'm just playing around with a few. Uh, uh, the main thing is that all the functionality is working. That the audio is fine. Um, when I can scrape a few hundred more bucks together and um, get back to a decent computer, I will go back to how I prefer to stream through OBS, and then I can do more. I can put more of my own stuff into it, but for the moment, I'm just doing the packaging. Now, Naomi, have you actually left Facebook? Like, have you deleted your account? Um, that was something I did want to um, let people know. Here, let's see. Oh, I can't see on this level. I'm paying for this platform, but it's like all of them. For a reasonable price, you can't get to do the things you want to do. So I can't actually show you the website that I want to show you. If you search Hello Quit X, um, there is a French group of people who have developed a uh, ah Ricky, that's Ricky. Great to see Ricky's on with us too. Um, there is a way that you can port all of your contacts and your data from Twitter into Blue Sky and or Mastodon. So I'm in the middle of doing it now. I've requested the archive from Twitter again, and when that's ready, I put it into this open portability app developed by some French people, so that you can not lose all of your contacts on X. All of the people who have moved over to Blue Sky or Mastodon without you having to go and find them all, and all of your past posts and contacts with them will be brought into Blue Sky. So I'm in the middle of doing that, and when that is ready, I will probably do that live. So the reason I'm streaming still to Facebook is because I was hoping that, well, I'm glad Naomi's left Facebook. If I can get Betty to leave Facebook and anyone else who's still uh, sticking with Facebook to leave, I'll be discontinuing all my stuff on Meta because I'm just not finding it useful. I'm going to be encouraging people to come across, and I'll just be concentrating on Blue Sky and YouTube, and probably trying to uh, rejig Mastodon as well, and putting more effort into my website and not wasting all the time that I was wasting trying to make things work on all the different platforms. It's a big problem for me. We'll talk about this. I'll just get through the comments we got first. Ricky, uh, I'm thinking it is Ricky. Ricky's up. Uh, Birds and birding. So that's got to be Ricky, doesn't it? So Ricky, where are you? Where did this come from? Oh, from YouTube. Okay, cool. Video quality is not up to the old standard. Yeah, I'm sure I'm dropping frames and it's lagging. Easy way for people to help me fix that is pop over to the birdemergency.com/coffee. You take out an annual membership. Not only will you get plants, seedlings or cuttings sent to you when they're mature, you'll help me replace this computer, which would be fantastic. I only need 4 or 5 of you to do it, and then I could get going this week. So Naomi's discontinued her account. Yeah, I think that's the issue I've got too. If you delete the account, you don't get access to Messenger. I think that's right, but you can basically put your account in the deep freeze, and you still get access to Messenger. I think that's right. Although I'm trying to get people to move over to. I mean, Telegram has its own issues. Signal. I just think everything's better if you try and control it yourself. But it is a issue. And what have we got here? Naomi's got another comment. Let's wait for that to pop up. Naomi says, "Oh, is it cropping up? Come on." Here we go. Oh, it is a bit slow. Or it's slow from what I'm seeing. Disconnected. I moved to Blue Sky. I don't really know how to use it because I'm not up with the X way of doing things. I stayed on Insta. We might do some tutorials on Blue Sky. The best thing about Blue Sky is that you don't get stuff jammed into your feed that you are not really interested in, which is what I'm getting very upset about with Twitter, in that I am getting so much crap in the feed and stuff that I'm not interested in seeing, and opinions I'm not interested in being stuffed into my feed. What have we got? The bird waffle. Ricky's got the bird waffle with Ricky Coughlin. I've left X and can be found on Blue Sky, but I've not done much there of late. I think, Ricky, we're probably in similar boats. I just ran out of the bandwidth. I mean, apart from the amount of time that I've been testing and trying to get this old computer to work and to be able to do what I want. Like, I've had to upgrade the operating system to a point where it can't really keep up, but I needed to do that so that I can run the versions of all the software that connects to everybody. And it's been such a pain in the ass. I can't tell you how many hours I've wasted on it. But yeah, the only thing about staying on Twitter for the meantime is that still there are so many of the academic community who are only on Twitter. But I think you need to. I think there's a real ethical quandary about being there and supporting a bloke who does Nazi salutes and then gets on the Alternative for Deutschland's conference and says that maintaining well, probably don't want to get into it too much, but let's just say nobody misinterpreted a Nazi salute. Okay, Ricky just said she just changed her name to Bird Waffle. I've been meaning to send you an email, Ricky, about getting catching up with you anyway on other things. So Ricky says I'm leaving various social media because of Trump bullshit. I think we should ask how much internet territory we want to cede to these animals. My problem is, Ricky, that we can build other internet territory if the algorithms are bastardized to such an extent that nothing you do gets out to new people. And my whole point of being on social media as the bird emergency is to reach new people and influence new people. Talking to the converted about the need for biodiversity action, protection of existing habitat, climate change action, climate repair, habitat repair. If you're just talking to people who are already in the club, well, you don't need to be on social media. You can just set up a WhatsApp group. Remember, even if you're not paying for things, they're deriving revenue from you being active because of the ads that they're running. And have a look at the kind of ads that you're getting now in your feeds. I get no utility from. I'm not getting new news and new information that I want in from the social media that I used to rely on. Curating your YouTube feed for news is better than Twitter is now. I don't ever get. I used to get comments from new people on Facebook all the time. I don't anymore. So what? Why am I making special little social media stuff to fit Facebook? And there's just no point. I mean, the only person that I'm concerned about if I leave Facebook is Betty Hoare, because I think Betty uses Facebook, but not the other platforms. But I think if I'm making my YouTube available on my website so that I embed those videos, I think that's the best I can do. I don't have the bandwidth to be dealing with bullshit, and people still getting in my feed and in my comments with stuff that is delusional, and most of them are trolls. There's no point trying to talk to any of them about what is or isn't true. They're trolls. I don't need to be putting my energy into it, and I certainly don't need to be helping Zuckerberg. And remember what Facebook was to begin with. It was a way to look at girls at his uni and him and his sleazy mates to go, who's hot? You know. So I don't think they're ever going to be better. And I think if we're going to be devoting time and energy into social media now, because it's got to be fit, it's got to serve a purpose for the users that are us, at the community that we belong to. And when they don't, I don't get any information on Facebook or Twitter anymore about research. I used to get piles of it. I have to go digging for it. If I have to go digging for it, I might as well just do a Google search or go and look at Cornell or Monga Bay or something directly on their website and find what I want. I may as well invest that time doing the kind of research I used to do and looking at Google Scholar and whatnot, not relying on finding the old way, which was stuff people wanted to show me. So, all right, let's catch up. Ricky again. To be honest, I don't read my feed on Facebook. Yeah, I just post there and go. Started created videos in support of the trans community. I think, see, Ricky, I think you have that special point where I think there is a real need to uh, to peg out that ground that you won't cede. I mean, uh, just what Trump did with passports, or what Marco Rubio did with passports for trans people in the US, is a real issue. Um, uh, so I think there's a different uh, point where you are being personally attacked. But then again, um, if all you're doing is having one-on-one conversations, and let's call it dialogue or discourse, not conversations, with trolls who are never changing their minds, your energy is probably better off put somewhere else. Um, Now, Naomi says, when it pops up eventually, I like the science and birds feeds. Yeah, the feeds, the subject feeds, and being able to do the starter packs and whatnot on Blue Sky is a really good feature. The other thing I like about Blue Sky is that the protocol, the open source protocol that it is built on, if the people who own Blue Sky, who control Blue Sky, actually said, "Oh no, what could we do? We couldn't say no when Elon Musk offered us a $2 billion for Blue Sky." Well, on this protocol, someone can just take it and create a new one and just say stuff you, and everyone can just go to the new one. There's no barriers in coming in or coming out. Blue Sky doesn't own your community, and I think that's really important. So uh, I'm working through doing a bird emergency starter pack for all the people who have been on the bird emergency. It's that I can find on Blue Sky. I've actually got somebody working on that now, so hopefully that won't take too long. Ricky again on a comment, and if you're just lurking, that's fine, lurk. But I'd really love to know where you are and uh, what your thoughts are on Australia Day and on politics in general at the moment. Yes, we should waffle soon. Drop me a line. I shall do that. I've decided to move over to YouTube. Good. Okay, that is much better as I walk through the bush and also in the home lab taking a deep dive into matters scientific. Yeah, that's what I really want to talk to you about, is doing something sort of regular that delves into your particular skill set in the evolutionary lineages, shall we say, of birdies. And Ricky again, the way to deal with trolls on socials is to remember that we don't have to swing at every pitch. Let's go to let it go to the keeper, as nobody cares. Yeah, and I just don't want to spend any of my energy trying to convince people or have dialogue with people who are not, it's an overused term, but are not good faith participants. So I'm not going to, and I'm not going to inflate their active user stats, and I'm not going to be seeing any of their ads. I'm still occasionally, when I see a company that I think is advertising somewhere they shouldn't be, I'll occasionally send them a note saying, I think it's a big mistake that you are placing your ads here. Okay, I'm glad you're getting into this, Ricky. Let's talk about this. Politics in general. We should leave AUKUS and keep a close eye on US activity. Read Greenland, Canada, Panama. On Australia Day, change the date. Now, if we change the date, what I want from you, Ricky, is a suggestion for what is an appropriate date, bearing in mind what I said about January 1 and what I said about Anzac Day. I'd be interested in your comments there. Yeah, I think if we don't leave AUKUS, I think what's going to happen is we'll have sent the US and the UK all the money that we've pledged to support their industries. And when that money's gone, the US will say, oh, yeah, about that technology transfer and the subs and stuff, get fucked. And they'll have our money and we'll have nothing. The interesting thing today that happened was, the Mexican president, Sheinbaum, refused to allow deportation flights to land in Mexico. What Trump is doing is making a big show, and there were pictures of detainees being lined up and marched into the back of US military transport planes. So that was the photo they wanted. They're all handcuffed and shackled, and they're shuffling up the ramp into the Caribous or the C-130s or whatever they're called. So they got that photo and that video, and that's what they're promoting. Now, Mexico said, we're not interested. Colombia turned a flight around, but then later accepted people who have been kicked out of the country, but they flew their plane to the US and they flew the people back. They said to Trump, we will accept people if you put them on commercial flights, treat them like normal people, we will accept them. But we're not having them marched in like criminals on your military planes. So Trump's put his tariffs on Colombia. Colombia have answered back, and the main exports from Colombia to the US is coffee and cut flowers. So it's an interesting one for Valentine's Day. But coffee's going to go up just because of environmental conditions anyway this year, and all these political things are going to drive it up more and more and more. Panama, I'm not sure what will happen there. I think that could be a real flashpoint. But I think what's going to happen, and I'm pretty sure that the Europeans have been working on this, and I bet Australia hasn't, is that people are going to have to say, I'm not going to buy American stuff. I'm actually, my website is through a European company hosted in Europe, and I try, when I have to buy domain names and everything, I do everything through the EU. So I try not to use American stuff where I can. But in most cases, the technology, the kinds of platforms that we want to use, there are not non-US options. But we just keep, I'll just keep looking. I'll keep trying. But I think that's what we're all going to have to do, is just say, we don't want an American brand. We don't want anything American. I'm happy to buy Chinese stuff. I'll tell you what, I feel less threatened by China than I do by the US. And the scariest thing about America is that there's so many dimwits in America who will embrace fascism. Remember, fascism was strong in America in the after the Great Depression, right up until the mid 30s, even late 30s. Fascism was strong in America. Okay, Naomi is back with, let's see. That was my trouble. Being a keeper, so to speak, was horrible. I'm extremely worried that Dutton will get in, and the US is making me sick. Have you seen those Clive Palmer ads with him explaining to people all the problems in Australia recently? Palmer, Reinhardt, Dutton, they're all getting in together. Dutton is using the same consultants that the Tories used and the Conservatives in New Zealand used. It's the same slogan, back on track. This is a global thing we're fighting, and we need to be aware of it. and which is why we shouldn't tolerate the kind of crap that's creeping into our social media. I think we're better just to ignore the turds, turn them off. If we have to get off particular platforms, just do it. And I think I'm quite happy to be in my own little echo chamber with people that share the aims and the views. I don't think we all have to be completely aligned with on individual policies, but anybody who thinks that uh, um, that Elon Musk is not an existential threat to modern democracy is a total dickhead. And I don't have time to talk to total dickheads anymore. Um, Ricky says, yeah, Trump is actually serious about Greenland. Yeah, dead set. And I hope the EU are onto this. There is no doubt that Trump wants Greenland. Is this coming up? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, Trump is serious about taking Greenlanders as threaten their leaders. Yeah, no doubt. We should take this seriously and prepare for the possibility that our alliance might end completely. Yeah, we need to be absolutely thinking about this. I mean, the EU is potentially going to fracture. Uh, I, I think Australia should be actively seeking stronger ties with China, and I think we have more opportunity to actually shape Chinese policy than we do with America. Um, I mean, of course, one of the congressmen has already put a bill, is already drafting a bill, will present it to the lower house uh, or the House in the US that uh, will will enable Trump to seek a third term. Um, I wonder what I wonder what their Supreme Court would do. Um, Now, Colombia will join BRICS. I think that's a more complicated question. I think before Colombia joined BRICS, I think there would be more likely to be a Latin America trade bloc come together. Um, and I wouldn't be surprised if BRICS had a name change. I saw a really interesting video by Richard Wolff, economist from the States, but he's been talking about global collapse, the collapse of the American economy as a global leading as the global leading economy for many years, and he was of the mind that BRICS has already won. Just that most people are not. Most people with influence and the sort of inside knowledge of that fact are not talking about it because they don't want the currency to collapse yet. But that, regardless of the domestic issues with that are going on in China, and there are significant domestic policy issues, that the yuan is already has already overtaken uh, the US dollar. Um, the Australian dollar. I mean, Australia needs to think long and hard about this. Uh, I mean, I'm sure that those of you who have to buy services using US dollars uh, are feeling significantly impoverished now. I certainly am. Uh, I was talking to one of my clients who I'm starting working with again after a year where they were on contract work and couldn't do much streaming and much social media of their own. And we're starting that up again in a month's time. But since the last time I did anything with them, the platforms that I use and the services I use to do the work for them have more than doubled. Um, so yeah. So Ricky's got another update. I think this is 40 BRICS members. Well, I don't think there are 40 BRICS members yet. I think there's a bunch who still want to join. But yeah, the yuan. Well, and I think they haven't actually adopted the yuan. I think what they are also talking about is creating a currency similar to the way the euro was created by the EU, and that currency would be what they would um, be using in. It's going to be really, really interesting. I mean, the fact that Trump could inflate his own wealth with a shit coin, and that then is. I mean, oh yeah, Egypt and Jordan should take 1.5 million Palestinians, and then you just go in there and level the joint. I mean, the guy is dead set a fascist and delusional. Now, Ricky, I've got to keep up with these comments. Ricky would rather see Australia team up with Canada, Japan, New Zealand, and the Pacific Island nations. Well, yeah, maybe that East Asian trading bloc that many people were very upset about because it might have some communist countries in it, would be a much better uh, a better fit. Um, I'm seriously thinking that we should be looking at teaming up with New Zealand and getting New Zealand in, so that we can become a nation, including New Zealand, and I'd be happy to include other Pacific countries in it as well. Um, uh, yeah, Naomi. Yeah, Trump is so uneducated that he mentioned. Where are we? Trump is so uneducated that he said 100% tariff on BRICS countries, and he stupidly thinks Spain is a BRICS country. Uh, No one should be surprised at how dumb uh, Donald Trump is. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, and Ricky said, yeah, it was a typo. Yeah, I think there are currently another. BRICS has 10 members, as you said. I think there are 6 countries who are currently applying for membership. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a number of smaller regional trade blocks that come together and then that they form their own kind of alliances loosely allied with BRICS. Um, I think a lot of countries want to have a bit more flexibility than they have had. And organizations like the WTO have not been consistent in the way they have allowed people to manipulate their trade conditions. So they penalise some countries and then they allow other economies that might be undertaking the same protectionist practices or the same anti-environment, anti-labor practices to get away with it. Um, so, all right, now we've all sidestepped the issue. Ricky did say change the date. Let's get back. Let's brainstorm. What would be a good date for a national day for Australia? And as part of that same question, do we actually need one? Like, is it something that we need? Um, let's. I'll put that on both of you for the moment. Is there a day that we should be celebrating? Should we just get? Uh, should we just have New Year's Day as Australia Day, being the day that Australia was founded, and that we get an extra holiday in lieu of Australia Day just because we all want another day off, and that day could be on this long weekend in um, I would love to know your thoughts. But why would it be Australia Day? I agree with Wattle Day. I think Wattle Day should be a holiday. Um, what? Uh, how do we make Uh, oh no, what's happened? Naomi's saying the video is gone. Am I gone? Um, let's. What if I kick out of here? Um, am I back, Naomi? I've just changed. I've just changed something. Uh, let me have a look. Oh, we've still got someone on Twitch that's um, popping in. Now, Ricky said Wattle Day is a great celebration of this beautiful land, and that I'm disappearing and freezing a bit. And Naomi just tells me I'm back. That's good. I just reset the studio that was obviously eating up too many resources. This is the problem. A computer that is 10 years old really can't uh, do what's needed uh, anymore. Even though I've got fantastic internet, it's not the internet; it's the computer. Um, my concern about Wattle Day, Ricky, is that it it kind of puts all the emphasis on one thing. Uh, I'm not really sure what Wattle Day represents in the way that it is portrayed to the public. I don't know what the point is of saying everyone get a sprig of wattle and then seeing everyone's got some Cootamundra wattle, which is one of the great environmental weeds in so many parts of the country. Um, I do agree that wattle is amazing. Um, I thought I just got rid of that. Here we go. Um, but what is? How does it become a national day? even bother with those things being national days. I just don't. Uh, yeah. All right. Now, this is a point that I agree with you, Ricky. Wattle is yes, but not always in September. So that is uh, my point a little bit about Wattle Day being September 1 and making it a national day. Um, uh, Wattle is very significant. Was a really important food source for many Indigenous groups. Um, but I struggle to see a logical linking to a national day. I would just rather it was Wattle Day and that it then became a day to message about protecting the environment. I I struggle to connect Wattle Day to the founding or the maintenance of Australia as a nation. Um, which is why I posed the question: do we even need a national day that is a patriotic kind of day where we get all jingoistic? And and how can we talk about a national day and not talk about the flag? Um, it's it's a really difficult one. Um, oh, I thought I was just getting rid of that. Um, I hope that is working. There we go. There we are. I mean, it is very difficult to. Uh, uh, I'm just checking my socials too, by the way. Um, so now this is a good point, Ricky. I think Australia Day should lose the patriotism junk and be about celebrating this land and our diversity and embracing each other. But that still doesn't tackle the date, does it? Um, I don't know how you can ditch the patriotism and celebrate our diversity and embrace each other when we celebrate the foundation of a colony which was established as a penal settlement and that then was uh, set about subjugating the indigenous population and disenfranchising them and more. Some of the words I don't want to say because I might get kicked off. Yeah. Um, so we have. So Ricky suggested September 1 as a national day. Any other suggestions? Just reading some of the trolling that's going on in the feed. So I agree that the so Ricky's. I think we've got to this point. This is why we want to abandon 26, which is about a colonialist beginning. Yeah, but how do we get around another date? Um, I don't think anyone will go for any other date that doesn't include a holiday in summer. Uh, um, oh no, Ricky's got a chore emergency. She's got to go. It was good to see you again, Ricky. I'll catch up with you. I'll be streaming again tomorrow, and I might even stream tonight on Twitch and YouTube, not on Facebook. We'll see. It's good to catch up with Ricky again. Naomi, 20th of March, close the gap and All Australians Day. Now, what's the significance of the 20th of March? Like, what date is that? If I Google March 20, so you're going to get people say, no, it can't be then because we've got the King's birthday around then. International Day of Happiness already, March 20. Sorry, I am just scrolling. I'm really keen to find out if much else happened. Okay, close the gap day. Okay. And close the gap day. I like the idea, Naomi, but how do we get people to buy into it when we haven't been able to close the gap when it's a big political um, imperative for governments? Um, yeah, I like the idea of close the gap day. Um, yeah, I think when we've got a long weekend the week before for Labor Day, um, is it Labor Day or when do we get the King's birthday, Queen's birthday? That's so we got Labor Day in March. A week before that here in Victoria. I don't know if it's the same in other states. I think that's a difficult one, and it also means we lose this long weekend at the end of January, and I think that's what people are committed to. I reckon if you just got end of summer day and it was a public holiday, I reckon people would ditch Australia Day in a heartbeat. If we still had the holiday today, every January in the last weekend of January, around the 26th, I reckon people would be happy to say Australia Day should be the New Year's Day. Um, uh, um, sorry, I'm just following some dialogue on one of the socials, which is a bit ridiculous. Okay. All right. Well, I think, folks, here we go. Naomi's. Let's have a look. With the recent results of the vote, I don't think you get people to go for it. At neither world, it would be a good time. Um, yeah, look, I just think people want the holiday. I don't think they care what it's for. Um, I think if you had a holiday this weekend and we could call it anything else, uh, yeah, end of summer, give it some pagan name and make sure that if there was a holiday for New Year's Day and another day, so that we made the first two working days of the new year holidays, I don't reckon anyone would give a shit if you called one of them Australia Day, because we were founded on Australia Day on January 1. I think that would be quite uh uh yeah. Yeah. Keep the long weekend. I agree. End of summer. I think we should like something like the yeah, I think that would work really well. I think that is much more. I can see that I've frozen again, have I? So that might be a good time to end the stream. It's getting hot in this room now too. I don't know whether it's got to 41 outside yet, um, but I think what I'll do. Um, I might pick this up a bit tomorrow, but I'll do some bird stuff tomorrow. Uh, New people coming in. Hello again. All on YouTube. I'm liking that, and on Twitch. Nice to be here. Um, I think I might do another stream tonight, talking more about what I want to do for the rest of the year. Um, uh, for particularly for the bird emergency and for habitat gardening, and get a little bit of feedback if anyone's hanging out online. And that'll be Twitch and YouTube only. And then tomorrow we'll do some bird stuff, some news. I've been bookmarking a lot of stuff I want to talk about. Uh, and we'll go from there. So yeah, hour and a half. I didn't think we'd get that far. That's good. That's good. I can see that I'm freezing up again, so we'll drop this. I'll give the computer a rest. I think it's pretty hot. I think that's what's causing some of this. So thank you, Ricky and Naomi, for being involved. Now that I know that this platform works acceptably, and I will keep using it, and I will add. I'll actually add a better camera and some things. So we'll play around with a bit tonight, and yeah, we'll just do more fun things. So it's been great to be with you on the holiday in lieu of Australia Day, because Australia Day fell on a Sunday, so we got to have a holiday. And I've appreciated your comments and your input. Great to see Naomi and Ricky chatting. Nice to have the Twitch lurker with us, and I will be, we'll just do a social kind of stream tonight, and then tomorrow back on hardcore bird stuff, which will be fantastic. Do oh, good. Someone. Maybe Ian was watching. I've just got an email from someone with a suggestion of what to talk about. So that's good. If it was you, Ian, hello. If not, very fortuitous. That's the thing too. You can always send me ideas. You can do that through Blue Sky, of course. Thebirdemergency.com/blue sky, but you can also send me emails at either news@thebirdemergency.com or grant@thebirdemergency.com if you want to let me know anything you think I should cover or look into. Very interested for any of that. Okay, it's getting very warm, so I'm going to have a break and cool down a bit. What is it? 4:15. Yes, this is about when it was supposed to be 41 degrees outside. I'll go and find out if it is. Make sure that the bird bath is full, and I'll catch up with some of you for a bit of a social stream later tonight. Uru!